Talk about GPs. What are we talking about? We've got a GP, we know that we've got a 24, and we know we've got 192. GP, the formula for the terms of a GP is AR to the n minus 1. Fairly simplistic really, but can get tricky. So what do we know? We know that the fourth term is 24, and we know that the seventh term is 192. By the way, this can get quite revolting and you make some pretty horrible questions. So I'm looking at a fairly simple case of what's going on here. Though I must say in assessments I often make it fairly simplistic because of what people do wrong. Let's have a look. We're going back to substitution. We're going to substitute this information. So the fourth term, so here we go. We've got the fourth term, that's that one there. The fourth term is going to end up being 24. So the position is 4, that's that one there, but the number we're talking about is 24. So there's our first equation. 24 equals AR to the 3, first equation. We're going to go to the other equation. Now, for 7, the number is 192, and it's AR just like the previous question. And this time N is going to be for this one. 7 take 1, so you've got 192 equals AR to the 6. Now this is a fairly unique solving simultaneous equations. There's my two equations, and I'm going to show you the nice trick. Always pick the biggest one. Pick the biggest, and I'm going to say the biggest on top. So which one's bigger? That one's the top bigger. Makes life a lot easier. So I'm going to write over here that I'm going to go equation 2 divided by equation 1. Maybe the first time you've seen the real use of doing simultaneous equations when we're dividing. So what we're going to have is 192 on 24. And that's going to equal AR to the 6 on AR to the 3. Now most people are comfortable with that. They'll cross out the A's and they'll go 3 of the R's will cross out with 3 of those. And we're left with this thing of R cubed equals that. And this is where a lot of people come unstuck, especially in the non-calculator section. I do like to do with evens. So would you be comfortable with dividing 192 in half? You could go 2 into 192, and you go 2 into 19 goes 9, there's 1 left over, and 2 into 12 goes 6. Maybe some of you would see what the answer is, but I'm going to go through the long way for those who can't, because that's what happens to people. Half of 24 is 12, then the number gets easier. Half of 96, well, some people still won't get half of 96. 2 into 9 goes 4 with 1 left over, and 2 into 16 goes 8, so you've got 48 on 6, and hopefully a lot of people will go 6 8 to 48. What if they don't? Half of that is 24 on that 3, and hopefully then they go 3 into 24 goes 8. So we've got this situation now where we've got R cubed equals 8. And all we're saying is what number times itself will give you 8. Hopefully you get the hang of those, because 1 cubed is 1, 2 cubed is 8. If you don't know these, really good to memorise them. 3 cubed is 27, 4 cubed is 64, 5 cubed is 125. If you know those basic ones, like laying there, you can't get to sleep at night, they talk about counting sheep. Do your math, it'll send you to sleep a lot of the times. I should practice what I preach when I can't go to sleep at night. So what number times itself will give us 8, and the answer's 2. You can imagine we could get some pretty revolting stuff in that. Now let's go right over to here. Now it said, what is the formula? Well, let's go back to the formula. This is not recursive, so Tn equals AR n minus 1. Now we know that A was, oh, we haven't figured out what A was. Let's go back to here for a second. You go, whoops, I'm in the middle of that. How do I get A? Let's go back to this one here. What do we know R is? So you're going to have 24 equals A times 2 cubed. And you see pretty obviously very quickly, 24 equals 2 by 2 by 2 is 8. 8A divided by 8, and you've got A equals 3. So back to our formula. We now know that Tn equals A, which is 3. We know that R is 2 to n minus 1, and there's our formula. So that's how you, given two terms, when it's a GP, you do this little trick of dividing them and making sure that you put the biggest one on top. You tend to do the biggest one on the bottom, but the numbers become negative indices and becomes much worse. Hopefully you find it helpful. Thanks for watching. I'd appreciate it again if you press like, that'd be great. And see you in the future.